Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this press conference on the new initiative, End the Cage. We have here with us Vice President Jourova and Commissioner Kyriakides. They will start with some opening remarks, and then, as usual, we will take questions you may have on this topic. Vice President, please.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Today we mark an important milestone for citizens in Europe and for animals in Europe as well. With the reply to the 6 citizens' initiative submitted to the Commission after it collected much over 1 million signatures. And it has done so in a record number of 18 member states. My congratulations go to the organizers of the End the Cage Age initiative for this major achievement. I am therefore happy to announce that the Commission is responding positively to the initiative. We will propose to put an end to animals' cages. This will follow a thorough impact assessment and will be accompanied by measures for farmers to do the necessary investments on their farms. The phasing out of cages for farmed animals fits with one of the overarching priorities of Europe to reinforce animal welfare as part of the Farm to Fork strategy and the European Green Deal. Commissioner Kyriakides will go into the details of the Commission's response in a moment. Let me just note that together in autumn last year, we met with the organizers of the initiative, and I was impressed by their professionalism and their dedication to this cause. Such meetings confirm to me that the European Citizens' Initiative is participatory democracy at its best. It raises public attention to issues that matter to citizens and launches or fuels public debates. As a result, they can make a real change. To conclude, the European Citizens' Initiative will celebrate its 10 years of existence next year. In this decade, over 100 initiatives have been started. 81 met the requirements and were registered by the Commission. The latest 2 have registered today. 6 initiatives succeeded in reaching 1 million signatures and have now received a response from the Commission. And there are a few more initiatives that have signaled to us that they reached the required support. In response to the 6 successful initiatives so far, several pieces of legislation were proposed as a consequence of citizens' ideas, and some laws have already entered into force in response to the Right to Water and Ban Glyphosate initiatives. The Commission is committed to be responsive to citizens' initiatives as possible. At the same time, it has to take into account legal and political considerations as well as principles of subsidiarity and proportionality. I would like now to give the floor to Commissioner Stella Kyriakides to inform you about the Commission's response to the End the Cage Age initiative. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vice President Jourova, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks an historic day for animal welfare and for European citizens. And I want to start this by thanking Vice President Jourova for all the support and for being able to be where we are today, showing that we have listened to the 1.4 million Europeans who have asked us to prohibit the use of cages for farm animals, and assuring that we will continue to listen. Following the call under the Citizens' Initiative End of the Cage Age, I'm pleased to announce that we will be presenting by the end of 2023 a proposal which will begin the phasing out of cages of all farm animals listed in this Citizens' Initiative. This is a very important step forward in further improving animal welfare across the EU. Animal welfare is a clear priority for our work on animal protection, health and food safety. And I'm very happy that this priority is shared by so many citizens. Over the past 2 decades, we have been witnessing citizens' growing concerns on animal welfare. And these concerns have also been echoed by other institutions of the EU, as well as by members of the European Parliament recently. I have committed from the very beginning of my mandate that we need to do more to protect the welfare of animals. When I met the organizers of the Citizens' Initiative last October, as Vice President Jourova has also met with them, and during the hearing in April, I was very clear that the further improvement of animal welfare remains a moral, a health, and economic imperative. We have already shown our will, our ambition and commitment to bring about more positive change. In our Farm to Fork strategy, we made the promise to undertake a thorough review of the existing EU animal welfare legislation. It is clear that the EU needs to act to improve the welfare of farmed animals. The path we are taking and our proposal to phase out and ultimately prohibit cages will be guided by independent scientific research and an analysis of the social and economic impacts. First and foremost, the European Food and Safety Authority, EFSA, will provide the scientific evidence on the prohibition of cages for animals covered by the initiative. Secondly, when it comes to the social and economic impacts, we will focus on the transitions and investments needed for farmers and other sectors that will have to adapt to new working environments. Farmers will be supported in this transition. We will identify the necessary accompanying measures to ensure a balanced and economically viable transition to cage-free farming. Farmers will benefit from actions financed by the revised Common Agricultural Policy, including upgrade of housing standards, training, and the use of eco-schemes to support a transition without endangering the survival of their farms. We will support them to seize society's demands as an opportunity to contribute to better animal health, food quality, and environmental concerns. Responding to consumer demand also means more competitiveness and economic advantages downstream. Our target for the Commission to work towards the proposed legislation entering into force from 2027, subject to the necessary impact assessments and all the necessary phasing out periods. But the end goal is crystal clear: a cage-free environment for millions of animals. A cage-free environment will be a benefit for all. For animal welfare is not only an ethical issue. It does improve animal health, it slows down antimicrobial resistance, and it improves food quality. This is the essence of our One Health approach and the continuum between our health and the health of the animals we farm. On the international front, we will continue to voice our strong support to animal welfare, making it clear to our trading partners that as a major importer of food, we consider that imports must comply with our rules and standards. We will certainly also consider this aspect in our impact assessment and look at different options of how we can achieve this. We are at the beginning of a process which will take time, but which will cement the EU as the leading actor for animal welfare on the global stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that these announcements will satisfy not only the citizens who have signed this petition, but the millions of people for whom I know that animal welfare matters. And it is important that today we can say, we have listened to you and we will continue to listen. We have heard you and we will continue to hear. And we will deliver on your aspirations, which are shared aspirations. Animal welfare is for us a political priority, and we will continue to show our commitment to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President. Thank you, Commissioner. You know that we have a very busy afternoon today with several press conferences, and this is why we are going to limit the questions only to this initiative on the End the Cage age. And I see we have a first question from Axel Münch. Go ahead, Axel.
Yes, hello, Axel Mönch, Agrarzeitung. Two questions for Commissioner Kyriakides. Could you please be a little bit more precise on the timing? You mentioned the year 27 for entering into force. Does this year really mean the end of cages, or is this the beginning of a step-by-step approach? And why do farmers need so much time for the end of cages? And secondly, on the international trade, has the EU the power to forbid the import of eggs made from cage hens, or is this a question of negotiations? Thank you.
Shall I? While I think it's, thank you for both the questions. First of all, I think it's maybe too early to say, but I would say that we will be working towards the proposal legislation entering into the force from 2027, as I have already said. And this is what the organizers of the Citizens' Initiative have already called for. It's very important here to underline that the length of the transition needed before the entry of force of the prohibition of cages will be assessed looking at the impact assessment that we have already said that we will be moving forward to, and we need to have this information in order to be able to take the final decision. The cost of the phasing out of cages will have a cost for farmers, and what we have said that is we're not going to be leaving farmers behind. We will be supporting them at all stages in the transition for better welfare and sustainable food systems. And this is why we need to assess this and also to be looking and working with member states to really strongly encourage the use of the possibilities to increase the support for animal welfare measures and through the common agricultural policy. And on the issue that you raised with trade, it's important for us that we negotiate that these are put forward in all our agreements and they're taken into account. The EU is setting very high standards for animal welfare, and we will work very closely with all our partners in order that our agreements and trade agreements reflect these high standards.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions on the end the cage age? That does not seem to be the case, which means that this press conference was crystal clear. Thank you very much. Stay on board, I would say, for the next press conference with Vice President Suica, Commissioner Wojciechowski, and Commissioner Ferreira on a long-term vision for the EU's rural areas. Thank you very much.